So what we've got going on today, if you take a look here, you see that plug right here in the center? I'm going to shine some light up in there. Can you see how it's, there you go. Looks like there's oil all around that plug. It's not up above the plug, but just around the bottom of the plug. So my first thought was, okay, this, it's got a bad seal, O-ring, something. I took it out, there is no O-ring on it. So I cleaned everything up and put some blue Loctite on it and ran it back in, let it sit overnight. I came back out the next morning thinking, all right, we got this. And again, that same puddle was in there. So I took it out, cleaned it up again, cleaned all of the blue Loctite off of it, and then wrapped the threads in Teflon tape, ran it back in. These are all suggestions that, that I found online. Ran that back in, and exact same issue the next day. And I thought, what in the heck? So, as I wiped that off, I kind of gave it a sniff on the rag, and it smelled like gasoline. And I thought, oh, okay, it's not oil. It's a gas leak. So, looking up in here, right where I've got the light shining brightest, you can see that rubber tube that's coming off there. But that little cap with the screws at the bottom of the carburetor, that's the accelerator pump. And you can see there's a brown colored drip of gasoline hanging off the bottom of that little cap. That is the problem. There you can see it. That little brown drip of gas sitting there. So that accelerator pump is leaking around the diaphragm and dripping fuel. It just happens with the bike sitting on the stand. It just happens to drip right in that valley and collect. So what I thought was oil was not. Now I went to my, again, the local Harley shop. They wanted $16 for that diaphragm. I called J&P Cycles, looked online, and that exact same diaphragm was $3.99. So you can guess who I ordered it from. So we're waiting for that to show up. We'll put that diaphragm in. Again, it's 3 little Phillips screws, drops out right back in nice and easy. So then, something else I did, because I love this little maintainer, this Stanley brand maintainer. I love it so much, I bought a second one to put on my car because I've got a brand new battery in it, and the car sits here most of the time. So we're at 100%. I'm going to unplug this charger real quick and plug in the maintainer. So you'll have to bear with me here. Unplug charger, plug in the maintainer, and we got a yellow light. So that means it's charging. Because we were at 100% on the charger, it should shortly swap over to fully charged once it reads the battery and realizes it's full. So one thing I'll say about these little chargers, I liked it enough to buy a second one. They are an excellent maintainer. Once the battery's fully charged, excellent maintainer. They're a terrible charger. They generate surprisingly a large amount of heat trying to charge a battery up. But when it's in the maintain mode, just as a test, I went ahead and turned on a bunch of lights in the boat to draw the battery down. And as soon as I saw that kick on, I shut all those lights off. And then I waited to see how long it would take to go back to green. Basically, I tripped it, forced it to come on. How long does it take to go back to green? And it was less than 5 minutes. So when it's maintaining, it doesn't have to work very hard at all to maintain. So I bought that one, plugged in my charger, ran the battery all the way up to tipped off right now, and then we swapped it over. So within, I would guess 3 or 4 minutes, this will go green, and we'll maintain this battery as well. So that's where we are. All right, well, we got the rental all packed full of crap. We are loading up kids, and we are heading south. Bakersfield, then on to Anaheim and Disneyland. I never in my life thought that I would be excited about a minivan. This thing is sweet. Kind of impressed. Well, we finally made it to Bakersfield. That's the rental. 802 miles. A little over 14 hours. It is beautiful here. It's almost 1 a.m. and about 80 degrees. So nice. This is my aunt's house in Southern California. So my previous upload attempt ended with a copyright strike because of the song in the background during this portion, which was "It's a Small World After All." So had to go back, change a few things, remove that, and add my voice.
The port side of the boat is a wise old shark, sharing a story for all of us to read.
You got plenty of room.
Oh my goodness.
I'm having this time of my life.
Okay, Nicole, quiet.
Wait, it's over?
Yes, it is over. What do you think? Fun?
Amazing.
Yeah. Hannah, Wyatt, fun?
Yeah. What are you doing?
Recording.
We're coming down,
Yep.
Well, what is that white thing on there?
Base Mountain, isn't it?
Yeah.
Black spot? What are you doing on?
I took mine off. I put it inside my bag. I said,
I saw flags.
Did ya?
I take my finger like an actual flag.
Hey, here we go. Here we go.
Really bad eggs. Drink up for me on the show. Drink up, lads.
African bull elephant right there, you know, he is the second most feared animal here in the jungle. Is there anyone that one thing?
That's pretty cool.
It lights up at night. Is it leaking bubbles?
No. So today's our last day here in Bakersfield. See the new Disneyland hat? Went to Disneyland obviously yesterday. And it is currently 111 degrees. 111. Whew. But it's nice. So it is 8:40 p.m. the night before we're leaving to go home. And it is 101 degrees outside. It is freaking hot. So we're officially back home now. Parts showed up from J&P Cycles, and this is all it is, a little tiny diaphragm. There's a spring that goes in that recessed metal piece up from the bottom. That's all there is to it, 3 screws. So I got some carb cleaner and a few rags. I'm going to rag off the bike, spray the outside of the carb down because with the fuel that's been dripping and misting around the carb, it's got a coating of gunk on it. So get that all cleaned up and get the new part installed and we'll be riding again. So as you can see, we've got the old accelerator pump diaphragm out. Here's the bottom and the little spring. So this sits right on top of that like that. And this little knob is where the actuating rod from your throttle linkage actually pushes down on that. So it has the brand name NGK on it. This is the one that came out. I can only assume this is a factory from Harley Davidson, but it says NGK on it. So the one that I ordered from J&P Cycles, if we take a look at this, see that right there on the top? Let me see if I can get it in focus. NGK, you see that? So this is an exact replacement at roughly 1/3 the cost, again, of Harley Davidson. So I'm going to slap this back together and we'll give it a test run. So it would appear that cured our problem. Nice and dry. So anyhow, we are back from vacation. Had a lot of fun in Disneyland and visiting with family in Southern California. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, rate, and comment. And we'll see you guys sometime on the next video.